Many high schoolers need a little something to help them continue their studies and pursue a college degree. Someone to help them with the logistics, the applications, the essays, also someone who believes in them. Upward Bound is a national program that plays that role for thousands of students. But the Trump administration is cutting that program at two North Country colleges. That's today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Clarkson University, offering over 95 programs of study with campuses in the Hudson Valley, Central, and Northern New York. More at clarkson.edu.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Friday, October 3rd. First up, as dry conditions persist across the state, Governor Kathy Hochul has implemented a temporary statewide burn ban. Hochul says the ban will be in effect for at least 14 days. The ban prohibits outdoor fires for brush and debris disposal, all uncontained fires, and open fires used for cooking. Backyard fire pits and small contained campfires are permitted. Officials say dry conditions will be reevaluated later this month, and the ban could be extended. Fire danger is high across the entire North Country. Most of the North Country is under a drought warning, the state's second highest classification. New York State and New York City won't be facing major federal cuts to their counterterrorism budgets after all. President Trump's administration reversed itself today, fully restoring the state's share of funding under the Homeland Security Grant Program. Governor Kathy Hochul raised the alarm about the cuts earlier this week. She says the feds were planning on cutting the state's share by about 86%. In a statement, FEMA said it was restoring the full grants to, quote, combat security threats within the Empire State. New York's agricultural commissioner says federal cuts to the SNAP program are creating a lot of uncertainty in the battle against hunger. Richard Ball told the State Council on Hunger and Food Policy Wednesday they met with fellow agriculture leaders from all 50 states discussing tariffs and food policy in what he calls a very foggy Washington.
The need seems even greater and overwhelming. But I think we work together, we collaborate, we stay in one place. We still have a good story to tell.
FoodLink's Mitch Gruber, who's a member of the council, said new federal policies put nearly 300,000 New Yorkers at risk of losing their SNAP benefits.
I don't think there's a single program that even touches the breadth and importance of SNAP. I think it's just the most important issue for us to think about as a group.
The Ag Department says the cancellation of a SNAP ED program in New York due to federal cuts is another major blow. That program taught people how to shop for and cook healthy meals on a limited budget. Two North Country colleges have lost federal funding for a program that helps prepare low-income and first-generation high school students for college. Upward Bound provides 9th through 12th graders across the country with counseling, college prep courses, financial assistance, and mentoring. Kara Chapman reports on why the colleges lost their funding and where they go from here.
Andrew Denton is a senior at Boquet Valley High School in Essex County. He's been involved with the Upward Bound program through SUNY Plattsburgh since his freshman year. He admits he was a bit leery about it at first.
But then a couple of teachers were like, oh yeah, you'd be perfect for this program. So I applied and I got in, and ever since then, I've loved it.
Denton says Upward Bound has changed his life. He's gone on leadership trips and college visits, done an internship, and met some of his best friends. He credits the program with helping him to decide that he does want to go to college and pursue a degree in finance.
This kind of experience for me to have a better life, a better job, a better career in life.
So when Denton learned a few weeks ago that SUNY Plattsburgh's Upward Bound program wouldn't receive its next round of funding, he was shocked.
I'm in 4 different group chats with a bunch of kids from different districts that all attend Upward Bound, and they're all like, oh my God, what's happening? What do you mean? Everyone was so confused at first, and everyone was so heartbroken that the program would be ending.
SUNY Plattsburgh was expecting around $1 million for its Upward Bound programs this fiscal year. That money supports more than 180 students across Clinton, Essex, and Franklin counties. Brian Post is Upward Bound's program director. In a letter to students and families, he wrote that the college was told the programs were, quote, no longer in the best interest of the federal government. SUNY Plattsburgh's Upward Bound activities were immediately put on pause. The situation's a little more complicated for SUNY Adirondack in Queensbury. One of its Upward Bound programs was renewed, but the other lost its funding.
These programs are very similar to one another. They simply serve different districts.
That's SUNY Adirondack President Anastasia Ertz.
So it's curious that one is approved and one is not approved.
U.S. Department of Education spokesperson Ellen Keast said in a statement that most Upward Bound grants across the country were reawarded. She said fewer than 30 that, quote, do not align with the administration's priorities won't receive more funding. Those priorities seem to conflict with diversity-related initiatives. Keast said many of the terminated grants, quote, use overt race preferences or perpetuate divisive concepts and stereotypes. As an example, she pointed to a community college that had asked for funds to train staff in diversity and cultural sensitivity. Ertz says when SUNY Adirondack applied for the funding, they had to lay out how they would seek to achieve diversity. The college talked about students having an array of educational interests and how the program would serve low-income students.
And also trying to make sure that we maintained a balance because we had had some issue with young men not being as interested in our programming. So we've made some changes to make sure that young men want to take advantage of this just like young women do.
According to the Department of Education, the grant funds aren't being cut, but reinvested into, quote, high-quality programs that better serve aspiring and current college students. Ertz says SUNY Adirondack's Upward Bound program is a good use of federal dollars. She says its students go on to become local communities' nurses, teachers, police officers.
Really the pillars of these communities. And so in our mind, of course, this is an incredibly powerful investment of funds to help communities that sometimes don't have a lot of resourcing and people who don't have access to a lot of resources to be able to achieve great things.
Both SUNY Plattsburgh and SUNY Adirondack submitted reconsideration requests and advocated their congressional representatives to try to restore the Upward Bound funding. They found out this week that they were denied. At SUNY Plattsburgh, 6 employees will now lose their jobs. Spokesperson Heather Haskins said in a statement that it's a tremendous loss to the region and that the college is working with SUNY to, quote, review every possible path forward. Ertz says SUNY Adirondack has created a transition plan that avoids immediate layoffs. She says the college will have to reevaluate how they serve the high schools affected by the cancellation of the grant.
These are close-in districts to us, and so there are ways we think we can use our campus and do some activities, but it won't have the same kind of depth of programming that you can get when you can dedicate staff wholly to that kind of work.
As for Boquet Valley senior Andrew Denton, he's in the thick of the college application process. Upward Bound helped him get a jump start on the Common App and his application essays over the summer. He and his fellow Upward Bound students met with their counselor for the last time last week. Denton says they built a connection over the years, and working with the counselor had given him some added reassurance. Now, that's gone.
My biggest thing is I am very worried that I'm going to mess something up on my applications, and it's going to cause me not to get accepted into a college, or might cause me to get waitlisted. Yeah, so I'm kind of terrified of that.
Denton has a petition going to save funding for Upward Bound and other federal education assistance programs. He says he hopes that, even if the program doesn't come back this year, younger students get to have the same opportunity that he had. Kara Chapman, North Country Public Radio.
We have more news all the time and through the weekend on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Mark Corey of Watertown and Ramon Vasquez of Malone. Have a super duper weekend. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.